Switching over to the Western Conference semis here in a game six, and now out at Golden State after Memphis won a game five in really decisive fashion. Steph and Draymond kind of having fun with their pregame guarantee or whatever you want to call it, saying they're going to whoop the Grizzlies without Ja Morant, and then they go out and lose by 50. Everything that we worried about in game four in terms of them starting 0 for 15 from three, not leading until the final 45 seconds, depending on free throws, to finally come back and close that game out. Klay Thompson still looking flat. It all just continued in game five, and Memphis, with Steven Adams back, was finally able to play Memphis basketball. The last two games, they've outscored the Warriors in the paint, 106-78. They are holding the Dubs to 23 for 76. That's 30% from three and a 96 offensive rating in those games. Last game, they out-rebounded them by 18 and had 18 offensive rebounds, 24 second chance points. And then the other Grizzball stat is that they had 29 points off 22 turnovers, where the Dubs had an even 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. And on the other end, Memphis, very efficient with the basketball because Mr. Assist to turnover ratio, Tyus Jones, is now leading the offense instead of Ja Morant. And it's just a very interesting changeup that they can throw at you when Tyus Jones is your point guard instead of Ja Morant. And the 40% usage rate Morant was posting and all the big numbers he was putting up were great, but it doesn't really involve the teammates. It doesn't really strain the defense in the same way, even if you say, oh, well, they can't stop Morant. So, of course, the Warriors defense isn't lights out, but it's just a different approach now when you have an entire team moving the ball, guys that can threaten. And really the biggest adjustment for Memphis from game 4 to 5 was Dillon Brooks and Jaren Jackson not chucking, because they don't need to do that. They don't need to try to be Ja Morant and take on his scoring load and try to fill that void. They just need to play a role in a very deep and efficient offensive team. And now I think they are comfortable in that role. We all know they started 20-2 without Ja, with an excellent defensive rating in those games before losing their final 3 regular season games, just kind of sitting on their seed down the stretch. Look, at Memphis at +8, I definitely lean that way more than I'm trusting the Warriors to cover 8. Warriors are fully capable of blowing them out at home. We've seen some games tip the other way in this series and just get out of control in the second half. But I'm not as high on the Warriors as most odds makers here had them as the favorite to win the title coming into this before that embarrassing game 5. I just disagree completely. I still think the Eastern Conference team, whatever team emerges from there, is going to beat the Warriors if that's their matchup, or maybe the Suns if they can hold on against the Mavs here. But I digress. I mean, the interesting thing here is, Memphis at +8, and actually the over on the road. There's some the splits are really interesting in terms of Memphis scoring a lot less on the road, but their defense worse. Their 3-point shooting is what's interesting, up from 34 to 38% on the road, though. And the opponents shooting 40% from 3 on the road. And that includes the Warriors 53% with their 142 explosion in game 3. So I lean towards over here. It's 218. The last game went over just because Memphis on their own. Warriors are going to respond on the offensive end of the floor. I don't know if they are as well positioned to stop this team defensively now that they have a facilitating center in Adams, and that they're playing team ball with Jones running the point. The Dubs do have a much better defensive rating in the playoffs at home. It's 107 compared to 118.5. But they're still 3-2 to the over in those games because they're scoring their offensive rating 12 points higher per 100 possessions, and they're scoring 119. They are undefeated at home. So I do like Warriors to win a close game if it comes down to it. Just like Boston struggles in the clutch, Memphis very bad in the clutch in this series. They basically coughed away game 4 when they had it in hand. And the Warriors, their superior experiences, it really came to light in those last few minutes. So, but Memphis, the fact that their defense is worse on the road and that they allow 112.5 makes me think we can get there with Memphis covering something in the range of Warriors getting about 115 and then Memphis getting about 108. But I think the teaser would be prime territory here to get Memphis +12 and then get that total down to 214. I mean, Memphis, if they're able to shoot as well as they did from three, like I said, they have a better percentage on the road. They shot 41% from three in this last game, which is kind of out of characteristic. But with Desmond Bane back healthy, and like I said, they're spreading the ball, moving it until they get a good shot. I think they can continue to find offense there and maintain at least something from what they had in that 135 game. But again, I think Steph Curry and Draymond, too much experience there for them to lose this one at home. I think they get the win and march on. I just don't know about a -8 spread. Not really interested in that one. But that is all the time we have for you in this one. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss a video when we do come back after this week off. And we will have a full slate of games in the conference finals and finals. Check out all the written content on PlayPicks and thelines.com to make sure you have your best bets over the next couple weeks. Wish Josh a happy wedding, and until we see you next, happy betting.